gets out of the jam in the 6th.
Our coverage of the game at American Family Field begins tonight at 6 with Brewers warm-up. We are your home for the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It is just about 1 o'clock and 77 degrees in Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Ty. Classes are back in session at Nathan High School in West Allis. A threat this morning towards student safety forced the evacuation of students and staff. TMJ4's Miriam McCarr is at the school.
The school district says the evacuation happened because of a threat to student safety, but provided us with no other details. I spoke with the student who reported that threat to his teachers. The high school junior tells me him and his friends heard another student make a comment threatening the school.
Me and my friend Nolan were walking to class, and there was some kid with a vest on, and we heard him say, wait until I detonate, and obviously I'm not going to take that lightly. So we told our teacher, because I don't want to die, and reported him.
Police have not yet confirmed whether anyone is in custody. Meanwhile, schools in the Calumet County city of Brillion are closed today after a threat of someone potentially shooting up a school. Police say the threat is not credible, however, but they're speaking with a female juvenile suspect. The Brillion School District says students and staff will not be back in school until tomorrow morning. The head of the United Nations says he is deeply concerned about the attacks in Lebanon, warning they could widen the conflict in the region.
Beyond the targeting of things like pagers, the UN Secretary General worries it could signal a prelude to something even larger.
Logic of making all these devices explode is to do it as a preemptive strike before a major military operation.
And in his view, Antonio Guterres says
everything must be done to avoid that escalation.
Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
The Justice Department is suing the owner and manager of the cargo ship that caused Baltimore's Key Bridge to collapse. CBS's Stacey Lynn has the new details.
The lawsuit filed in Maryland details the series of failures on the Dali that ultimately caused the vessel to crash into the bridge. It says the company recklessly cut corners and ignored known electrical problems, which culminated in a massive power outage moments before the deadly accident. 6 construction workers were killed when the bridge crumbled into the water. The DOJ is seeking to recover more than $100 million that the government spent to clear the underwater debris and reopen the city's port. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
An iconic brand is filing for bankruptcy.
Yes, there's a party going on at Mrs. Betty Martin's house.
The party appears to be over for Tupperware. The first product developed in 1946, but the innovative plastic food storage bins gained popularity in the 70s when Tupperware parties became all the rage.
The girls get together and meet their old friends and make some new ones.
The issues, manufacturing costs, and what was once a kitchen staple is no longer, thanks to cheaper knockoffs that are equally as effective and easier to find. It wasn't until 2022 that Tupperware first appeared in Target stores. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
The company is seeking the approval of the bankruptcy court to continue operating during Chapter 11 proceedings. And a well-known reality television show makes its return to Milwaukee this week. Camera crews for Paramount Network's Bar Rescue are filming at Tropic MKE on Water Street. The show has previously rescued 2 other Milwaukee bars. Both are now closed, though, so I don't know. Did they really rescue them? Earlier this year, the show filmed episodes at Harbor Lights in Sheboygan and Interlude 2, also in Sheboygan. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update right now. How about that? Everything is up in the green. Dow up 266 points to 41,872. S&P 500 is up almost 43 points to 5,677. And the NASDAQ is up 165 points to 17,793. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sounding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:03.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
Solving your breathing triangle problem can lead to better sleep and a better quality of life. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
No matter what your timeline is, you deserve a journey to paradise with Fox World Travel and Royal Caribbean. When you get the craving for sunshine, poolside fun, and ocean views for miles, there's no reason to hold back. Make the most out of your time with an all-in-one cruise vacation. Let a Fox World Travel cruise expert save you from the daunting task of choosing from ships, ports, and staterooms. And visit foxworldtravel.com to plan your next cruise vacation. That's foxworldtravel.com.
Love cutting your lawn or raking leaves? Yeah, right. Well, if you lived in a brand new Cornerstone development community, someone else handles those duties. Buy a brand new home in the Grove in River Hills, the Glen at Stonewall Farms in Grafton, the Glen at Standing Stone in Waukesha, or the Glen at Wanakee in Menominee Falls, and they take care of the maintenance. All built with your selection of finishes. If you downsize, there's a clubhouse for when you temporarily need to upsize. Take a virtual tour and see for yourself at cornerstonedevelopment.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. With a magic number of 1, the Brewers could lock up the NL Central Division before taking the field tonight against the Phillies. If the Cubs lose to the Oakland A's this afternoon, that will secure the Brewers' 4th division title in the last 7 years. First pitch from Wrigley is scheduled for 1:20, so coming up here in about 15 minutes. Coverage of the Brewers and Phillies begins tonight at 6:05. The Green Bay Packers begin the practice week today. Quarterback Jordan Love could be seen taking snaps, but his status for this Sunday's road trip to Tennessee remains uncertain right now. Let's check out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. No crashes, but we just seem to have a bunch of disabled vehicles this afternoon. I'll tell you about the 2 new ones here in Milwaukee County. Disabled vehicle on the exit to Watertown Plank Road from 4145 south. Not causing too many issues, but it is out there. We also have a new one on the ramp from Layton Avenue to the I-94 South Collector, and that's always kind of a weird spot where it turns right there, so that could definitely cause some slowdowns.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox & Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox & Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, sunny and warm. We're loving it. Tonight, mainly clear. A little patchy fog. We'll dip down to 62 by the lake, 55 inland. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm. High of 83 by the lake, 87 inland. Friday, we do actually need a little bit of rain. I know not everybody likes it, but we haven't had some in a while. We do have a little bit of a chance for rain Friday morning. Partly cloudy otherwise, high of 82 on Friday. Saturday, partly cloudy as well, high of 80. Sunday, high of 78. Partly cloudy and a little bit of chance for rain Sunday night. We'll see if it happens. It's currently 77 in Racine, 77 in Milwaukee, and also 77 in Mequon. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 107.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. Coming up today, Doors Open Milwaukee is at the end of this month, and the group behind the annual event, Historic Milwaukee, is hosting a, shall we say, unique repelling event to commemorate its organization's its 50th anniversary. And so, you know, what better way to show your appreciation for history and architecture than by rappelling from an iconic 1917 Milwaukee building, which I have somehow, pun intended, gotten roped into doing.
You're just having a big, let's flirt with death week. I like it.
Yeah, a lot
it's
of adrenaline. I just, my life is not exciting enough, so let's just defy death every once in a while. Right. Then local teenagers are partaking in an illegal TikTok trend that got us talking about some of the pranks we did as teens. And I'll give you 2 guesses who got into more mischief as a child Me or Brian?
Well, you're the one who's jumping off buildings and going down slides. I'm going to have to guess it's you. Then we will, of course, spin the state, and we'll celebrate a holiday that today for an American icon. Then, if you've been walking around your town and you look in and you see a lot of storefronts that are empty, and you're like, man, why can't those get filled up? Well, guess what? There is money in the state to do something with those empty storefronts, but it's not getting done. Why? Well, we'll find out about that at 2:30.
Absolutely. But first, so back on Friday for our Political Power half hour, I started our time with Steve lamenting the fact that I felt like all of the oxygen is getting sucked up into the presidential campaign. Obviously, swing state, J.D. Vance was just here yesterday.
Kamala's coming
Friday. So there's just so much happening in a very... as what is the word they continue to use? Unprecedented presidential campaign.
When does it stop being unprecedented? Because it was kind of this way in 20, so that would be
precedent.
precedent.
It's felt like 8 years of unprecedented, right? Or I don't think that's the word
it's
that I
want.
want.
It's like the 100-year flood that comes every year.
Yeah, exactly. But, and I was lamenting the fact that this is also getting lost in that shuffle is the fact that this is I think, a big year and a lot of stories there's, I think, and races to be watching for the state legislature, specifically the assembly, which I know Steve thinks that it won't flip to Democrats, but for the first time in 12 or 14 years, there's a chance that it could. And so ask and you shall receive, Brian, because there was a headline this morning that there was an announcement that national Democrats and national Republicans are targeting Wisconsin legislative races, which is the first time in a long time that there's any kind of national money going to our state legislature races.
And there is a lot of national money coming to those races.
Yeah. And so we're going to talk to Journal Sentinel state reporter Jessie Opoyen on the other side of this as far as what she's seeing, what she's hearing, what races she's watching, and what this money means to some of these races. So stay with us on Spanning the State.
It's like playing baseball in the house.
Mom, Dad broke the window.
Without the risk of...
Again.
That. Every Thursday at 8:40, play virtual baseball on Wisconsin's Morning News. Step up to the virtual plate and test your mettle against the best.
Swing and a drive to right.
It's virtual baseball, presented by Siding Unlimited. Only played here on WTMJ.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And last Friday, I lamented, or I guess I commented on...
You lamented.
I lamented how little I feel like we've been hearing about down ballot races in what is otherwise like a very big year for the Wisconsin legislature, specifically the assembly, and ask and you shall receive, because this morning I was reading about the announcements that national Democrats and national Republicans are both targeting resources on Wisconsin legislative races, which hasn't happened in quite some time, Brian.
Yes.
And so here to explain more about what that looks like and provide some insight on the battle over the Wisconsin Assembly is Capitol reporter for the Journal-Sentinel, Jesse Opoyan. Welcome to the show, Jesse.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. It's good to be back talking to you again.
I know it's been a minute since we've had you on the show. I imagine you've been a little busy. It's been a crazy summer as far as politics are concerned. But before we get into the weeds as far as national party support, can you summarize the state of the race for the Wisconsin Assembly? Because obviously we have new maps. We're past the primaries, so we know the who's going to be the candidate for each party. And if you had to estimate, how many seats are really up for grabs as far as which party will win that seat?
So, if you talk to either party, the number is going to vary. When I've looked at the margins and kind of, I think, the way that they looked at a lot of these districts is like, how did presidential candidates perform in them before? So, the National Democrats have 14 races between the state Senate and the Assembly that they're targeting. I think probably 10 is a more reasonable estimate, and that's between the two chambers. I think that there are a lot more opportunities for Dems to pick up in the Assembly, but there are a few in the Senate, and then there's a few incumbent seats that they need to hold on to as well.
The big focus of the story, one of the big focuses was on who was making these donations. You've got the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee and the Republican State Leadership Committee. Who are they, and which came first? Did the Democrats start pumping the money in first, and then the Republican State Leadership Committee jump in after, or did they both come in together?
So the Democrats at least were out there talking about their investments earlier. I think that they were both probably on similar timelines overall. If it comes down to just like weeks or months or anything like that. But Democrats were really pumping stuff in early. Campaign finance is tricky, and all of these committees are tied to the parties, and they're tied to the different expenditure laws that exist within different states and at the federal level, and so it gets complicated. But what I would say is I think both of the committees are going to pump in as much money as they possibly can to either try to flip seats or hold on to the ones that they have.
But this is the first time this has happened in a long time, right? I would imagine for the last since we had old maps, basically, the interest at the national level for investing in any races was not really there prior to this year, right?
No, there's always a couple of seats that, certainly Democrats have thought that they could maybe try to flip a seat from here to there, and the Republicans have succeeded in flipping some Dem seats over time, too. But we have not seen this kind of national attention. I've been covering politics in this state for more than 10 years at this point, and I've never seen anything like it in terms of the national organizations getting involved. And again, not only just looking to hold on to the seats that they have, but seeing all of these seats that could potentially be up for grabs.
Well, we keep talking about the seats that could be up for grabs, and you mentioned 10. What are some of the ones you're most interested in watching?
So the ones that I'm hearing the most about are Wausau area, Sheboygan area, Chippewa Falls area. So you've got two incumbents. You've got Jody Emerson and Steve Doyle, who are in the Assembly, both Democrats, and they're trying to just hold. They're just trying to stay in the seats that they've got. But they're targeted races, and they're ones that the National Committee is investing in on the Democratic side. Then you've got some seats in central Wisconsin that I think you could really flip on a coin, and you're going to see a lot of targeting there. And then Sheboygan, that area, that part of the state, that used to be a really flippable part of the state, and it hasn't been in a long time. And so again, with these new boundaries, I think we're seeing that sense of more opportunity, and so that Republicans have traditionally held on to seats in that area, but I think Democrats are sensing an opportunity to maybe pick something up there.
Is there anything in southeast Wisconsin that's catching your eye?
What I'm most interested in southeast Wisconsin is not necessarily the legislative races, which I think that there are some interesting ones there. I think what's interesting there is how the national and state level campaigns are targeted in the area. So you've got Tammy Baldwin holding events in Brookfield, and you've got Kamala Harris coming and holding events in Big Bend. And I think Democrats are targeting some of those suburban areas that have traditionally, and they're probably still going to vote Republican at the end of the day, but if you can just cut into those margins a little bit, you can really affect races, by tens of thousands of votes at the state level.
You mentioned the Sheboygan area used to be flippable. Did it change only because the new boundaries of the map, or is there something else going on in that area?
I think a lot of those areas, Sheboygan, Brown County area, even the Wow County areas, I think they've always been flippable, but the way that the state legislative districts have been drawn have just locked in those points a little bit tighter for Republicans over the years, and the same is true of a lot of districts in the Madison, Milwaukee areas for Democrats, and so I think we're seeing as some of that spreads out a little bit, we're seeing a little bit more. Again, flippable, a little bit more up for grabs.
For lack of a better word, flippable. So as you said, Jesse, you have been covering politics in the state of Wisconsin for over 10 years. And it's been, I think I would not be out of line to say, a contentious time to be covering the Wisconsin state capitol. And so regardless of which party takes a majority in either chamber, it's safe to say that it's going to be much smaller majorities than we've seen for a long time. Do you think, as someone who lives and breathes and literally lives down the street from the Capitol, do you think that the atmosphere is going to change? Do you think the tone and the do you think the tone is going to change?
I do, and I think it already has.
Oh, really?
I think as we saw, there was a question of, is split government an anomaly when you have Tony Evers as a Democrat in office as the governor, and then you have Republicans controlling both chambers of the legislature, and they have to figure out if they have to work together or not, and then over time they realize they do have to work together. I think one of the number one things that lawmakers on both sides of the aisle hear from their constituents is that they're just tired of things not getting done. And we started to see that with things like, the Brewers Stadium district deal, with the Milwaukee and statewide shared revenue deal, with some of the tax policy changes we've seen over time. They're not big things; they're incremental changes. But we've started to see the two parties have to learn how to work together, and I think we're going to see more and more of that as those margins get tighter in the legislature.
Well, that would be nice if we could teach them like kindergarten. We got to teach everybody to get along and play. That would be. It's amazing that it takes that long for adults to figure that out. But so we're looking at this. Is there any? Does it trickle down at all with the funding? We know the Harris campaign has been outraising the Trump campaign here in Wisconsin by a lot. Does that trickle down into the down ballot races as well?
I mean, it always does, but sometimes things bubble up too. We saw in 2016, Ron Johnson ran ahead of Donald Trump, and Donald Trump won, and Ron Johnson won. You've got Tammy Baldwin on the ballot, who's a traditionally really strong candidate, and she's certainly going to help the top of the ticket, but I think she'll probably help the bottom of the ticket too. And I think the new sense of enthusiasm that we're seeing with Democrats, certainly after Kamala Harris replaced Joe Biden on the ticket, I think that certainly only helps those legislative races. But again, it's going to be an uphill battle. I mean, it's new boundaries, and it's a lot of new opportunities for Democrats. But I think it's still an uphill battle.
Well, thank you for covering this, because as I said, it's an exciting time up and down the ballot in Wisconsin, and certainly need as much attention on some of these down ballot, super important races as we do, on the race that everyone's covering, which is Trump versus Harris. So thanks so much, Jesse.
Thanks, Jesse.
So great to talk to you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Jesse Opoyan is a state reporter for the Journal Sentinel. Citing Unlimited News Time, 1:23. It's spanning the state.
There's only one place to go for your full post-game Brewers breakdown. Brewers Extra Innings with Dom Catronio.
There's no such thing as perfect. Man, that was as close to a perfect of a game as you can have.
In-depth analysis on every game. Hear from the manager, Pat Murphy, and a whole lot of highlights.
Back goes Hampson at the track. Wall! Gone!
Catch Brewers Extra Innings after every Brewers game on the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, with a tip for today's home shoppers. You already know inventory is low and both competition and home prices are high. That's probably why you should not go with your bank or your real estate agent's mortgage pal for your pre-approval. You see, the banks have lots of branches, fancy headquarters, vice presidents and assistant vice presidents, and the loan officers who get referrals from real estate agents, they're typically very highly paid. Who do you think pays for all that extra expense? Turns out it's you. High overhead and high compensation naturally translate into higher closing costs. At Accunet, our extreme efficiency and low overhead mean your closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks and other lenders for exactly the same rate. Don't light your hard-earned money on fire. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval today by clicking on the blue button and put the money you'll save in closing costs towards something for your new home. That's ACCUNET.com.
Our goal is to provide patients with the strongest, most effective, and safest options in this exciting field of regenerative medicine.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
The idea that you can avoid a joint replacement is very exciting.
And that's from a surgeon who's done thousands of joint replacements, but who now believes there's a better way.
Regenerative medicine, as we understand it today, gives lasting pain relief, improved function, without surgery, without drugs.
Under Dr. Scheinkup's leadership, QC Kinetics medical professionals treat patients every day with the most advanced protocols in natural biologics. Literally tens of thousands of people all over America.
I've been doing research on regenerative medicine for 2 decades. This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Getting 10% back is easy at Fleet Farm. For a limited time only, Fleet Rewards members can earn 10% back in-store and online. Spend $50, get $5 back in rewards. No rebates, no coupons, no hassles. Plus, Fleet Rewards membership is free. So if you're not signed up yet, now's the time. Then get shopping to earn 10% back on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm. Some exclusions apply. Not valid at Ankeny and Waukee, Iowa stores.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I'm Kristen Bry. And did you know that yesterday was National Voter Registration Day?
I learned it after the show, which was not timely.
No, and it made me reflect on where I was 4 years ago, which was I had created As Goes Wisconsin. I was making a ton of get out the vote content. And fast forward to this year, and that's not necessarily my job. I still want to be making that kind of content on my personal channels. I think I reposted some other people's remember to go vote, remember to go register to vote and everything yesterday. But not as much on my game as far as all the dates and everything to remind you to get registered and remind you to, if you need an absentee ballot, you can request that already, and all of the nonpartisan get out the vote information.
Yes. Well, thankfully, someone else has picked up your gauntlet that you had to lay down because of all the other responsibilities in your life.
I think she's a lot more effective than I am, too.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm just saying that Taylor Swift has now become the focal point of this election for some people. And because of that, because of her... does it count as an endorsement if you just say, I'm voting for somebody? She didn't really tell anybody else to vote, but they're calling it an endorsement. I know.
Yeah, I know.
I
think when you come out and say, "I am voting for this person," in her message, she was like, "I encourage you to do your own research." Right. I encourage, and the big advocacy I think she had in her call to action was register, but she wasn't necessarily saying go vote for Kamala. But what was interesting is I know you're going to get to it because there was some information right away that came out as far as how many people clicked on the link, which was vote.gov.
Right.
As far as, and that's kind of a crowdsourced government website that then takes you to, so it's like if you go to that website and you click on Wisconsin, it's still going to take you to myvote.wi.gov. Yes. And so it is a central place to then get you to your state website to register. But so for that one, it was 300,000 people clicked that link. And the joke was kind of well, how many of these people are over 18? How many of them are 12-year-old girls who clicked on it and can't actually register to vote yet? But we have new information.
We do have new information because there is new daily voter registration And it has surged in Wisconsin since Taylor has decided to endorse Kamala Harris. And this is data from the Wisconsin Elections Commission. Between August 27th and September 10th, which was the day, you know this, before the debate, average number of new daily voter registrations in Wisconsin was 2,176.
Which is still really good.
That's good for every day. But when you look at September 11th and 12th, the average was 7,881. Taylor Swift affect anyone? I believe so.
I mean, that is almost, that's a 3x?
Yes.
Almost 4x?
So there were almost 16,000 total new registrations on just those 2 days. They reached a peak 2 days after the debate and the endorsement. 10,537 new Wisconsin voters registered on that day alone.
Wow.
That is wow. I mean, and I know people argue, well, does it really matter? Does it not? I don't care, because maybe all these people aren't going to follow Taylor's vote and vote for Kamala Harris. But
and maybe they won't vote at all.
Because
just because you register doesn't mean that you make time the day of to go find your polling station.
That is an effective way to get registrations done. And if it takes something like Taylor Swift putting out a little statement of who she's going to vote for to get people to register, great.
Yeah.
Or if maybe you're a Kid Rock fan, Kid Rock endorsed Donald Trump, I got to register. Good, register. Everybody should vote.
Everybody should vote.
I don't know why we're still so apathetic about this, but we are. What's coming up after the news?
We're going to talk about my death-defying act of rappelling across a building this Friday.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After 4 years of raising interest rates to tame inflation, the Federal Reserve Board today issuing a 0.5% rate cut. ABC's Alexis Christoforous says the board was also considering a quarter cut, but went bigger.
There were some who said, look, you need this aggressive half-point cut now to help out the job market, which has been slowing down, and to prevent the economy from maybe moving in the opposite direction, slowing down so much that we would possibly tip into a recession maybe later next year. Others are saying a half-point is overkill, that it could actually, believe it or not, fan inflation again because it might be a stimulant for the economy.
In Lebanon, more than a dozen are dead, hundreds more injured following new explosions of communication devices held by Hezbollah members. One blast happening at a funeral for those killed in yesterday's blasts. In Wisconsin, a scare for school children today in Chippewa County. A wagon overturned at an apple orchard. With 25 on board, all are said to be okay. This is ABC News.
Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. Well, you just heard a little bit about this. 2 hay wagons loaded with adults and kids rolled over at a Wisconsin apple orchard this morning. Passengers in the hayride were on a field trip for Eau Claire Elementary School. Deputy Chippewa Fire Chief Corey Jeffer said 25 people had to be taken to local hospitals. All kids have now been reunited with their families and their homes safe, but a scary situation for them indeed. Classes are back in session at Nathan Hale High School in West Dallas after an earlier threat to student safety forced the evacuation of the school. The district says a student wearing an athletic vest made threats towards students around 10 o'clock this morning. Police say nothing of concern was located in the building. And Milwaukee Public Schools are reminding parents to make sure their kids are in class every day, but especially this Friday. That's the day the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction conducts the statewide count of all enrolled and present students. DPI's findings are directly tied to funding allocated to each district for the 2024-2025 school year, so it's really important. Time for news about your money now. Here's a WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. We were doing really good before. Let's check it out right now. Yes, everything in the green on Wall Street right now. The Dow is up 222 points to 41,828. S&P 500 is up 31 points to 5,665. And the NASDAQ is up nearly 169 points to 17,797. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's check out the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Not too bad out there. We don't have any new crashes to tell you about. A number of disabled vehicles, but the ones that are causing the most issues right now, this one just popped up a couple seconds ago here. I-94 East at 35th Street. That's always a tight spot. The right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down there, so you can expect some delays. We will be seeing that. Also, a disabled vehicle on the ramp from Layton Avenue to the I-94 South collector. Around that curve, that can always get tight. It's kind of slow right now as is. So that disabled vehicle is definitely going to slow things down even more. And here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Sunny and warm. We're loving this. High of 81 by the lake, 86 inland, really getting up there. Tonight, mainly clear, some patchy fog as well. We'll dip down to 62 by the lake, 55 inland. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm, 83 by the lake, 87 inland. Friday, we have a slight chance for a little bit of rain in the morning hours. We'll see if it happens. We could actually use it. Partly cloudy otherwise. High of 82 on Friday. High of 80 on Saturday, partly cloudy. Sunday, partly cloudy as well. And a slight chance for rain in the evening hours on Sunday. High of 78 on Sunday. It's currently 85 degrees in Kenosha, 79 in Port Washington, and 77 in Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is one of the most unique and affordable dining destinations in the state and one of the most gorgeous. WTMJ's John Mercure here. When you buy one dinner any night of the week, your second dinner is free. Any dinner item on the menu, that includes the prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday, or order a juicy steak cooked to order, ribs, seafood, fabulous chicken and seafood dishes on the menu, even the steak and lobster, and your second dinner's free. Desserts and huge ice cream drinks. Very fun drinks, or buy one, get one free. Sip on a hand-muddled old-fashioned, have a bourbon, a Manhattan, choose from 100 wines, ice-cold beer. Check them out on the patio in the woods. Views are breathtaking. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, nestled in the hills of the Holy Hill Shrine. As the fall season sets in, the drive through the Kettle Moraine is beautiful. Gift cards make perfect gifts because it's buy one, get one free for the dinners. Relax with a cocktail and a free prime rib dinner tonight. Tables are open. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
For love of the game.
There's nothing like being selected to the Olympic team.
And love of their country.
Championship of that level, gold medal, means more.
Tune into Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Inside stories from Buck stars on the agony and triumph of competing to win it all at the Olympics. It's Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Welcome back to Spending the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And Doors Open Milwaukee is the annual celebration of Milwaukee's architecture, history, and neighborhoods. And the event this year has 150, or actually more than 150 locations throughout the metro area to tour for free.
Nice.
And it's at the end of this month, September 28th and 29th. But this Friday, I have been recruited to do a special promotional event for Doors Open Milwaukee that we will get to in just a minute.
Right.
That includes some dangerous activities, I would say. But, we're brave over
How
here.
thick was the rider that you had to, or the waiver? Rather?
It was a lot of initials.
Yes.
It was a lot of initials I had to sign.
The more initials, the more dangerous.
We will get to that in just a moment. Here to tell us more about the event and what's going to be available for you to tour at the end of the month is Grace Fuhr, who is the Director of Special Events at Historic Milwaukee. Welcome to the show, Grace.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So for people unfamiliar, Historic Milwaukee is the organization that is behind Doors Open. I think most people know Doors Open. And so it's totally a separate organization from like the Milwaukee County Historical Society, right?
Correct.
And so what is the because it's 50 years old. And so what is the mission of Historic Milwaukee?
Yeah, so we were founded in 1974. And we originally started in Walker's Point neighborhood, so giving tours and educating people specifically about Walker's Point. And at the time, it was a group of volunteers who actually purchased historic homes to teach people about restoring their homes and, the value of not tearing something down. We, of course, know now that Walker's Point has retained a lot of really amazing historic charm, and that's one of the things that makes it such a great destination. But the organization went on to become citywide. And again, focusing still on doing tours and education around history and architecture in Milwaukee.
So when did that morph into Doors Open Milwaukee?
Yeah, so Doors Open is an event that we started in 2011. One of our longtime tour guides named George Wagner, who was a retired Milwaukee Public Librarian at the time, visited Doors Open Toronto and Doors Open Denver and thought, why doesn't Milwaukee do this event?
Yeah.
So he approached our board at the time and said, you guys should do this, and I volunteer to organize it as a volunteer.
That works. That's
You do
nice.
not need to pay me. That's an important caveat to that is like free labor, always valuable.
Right. So it's low risk, high reward, for the organization. And George single-handedly went around for like a whole year, presenting to buildings. And really it was kind of an odd concept to many locations at first. But that first year had 80 locations and 10,000 people attended. So it right away was a very popular concept. This year, 155 locations. We don't know exactly. Last year we had over 70,000 site visits.
Wow.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Over 2 days.
Over 2 days, yeah.
That is a lot. And so what are some of the fan favorites for people maybe unfamiliar as far as things that every year you can go see that otherwise is not open to the public?
Yeah, well, one that's very near and dear is the Historic Milwaukee's offices and store in the Mackey building. So the grain exchange room is always part of it.
Yeah.
And this is a place that, if you've gone to a wedding or event there, that you have the opportunity to see, but many people still have not had the opportunity. So that's always a big favorite. City Hall is obviously a favorite. You can go to the bell tower if you get a ticket in advance. So that's a huge favorite. Anything that has a nice view is definitely popular.
Okay.
So this year, the new Baird Center is going to be open, and you might not think of it as being like a very tall building, but they have the really wonderful, rooftop deck that people will be able to access and see cool views of the city. So we're excited about that being a new one. Another really cool one is the Bradley Symphony Center, which has only taken part one time in Doors Open, and they're back this year. So
that is, I got to see it when it first opened, and there was some event there, and it is so pretty.
It's phenomenal.
It's an unbelievably beautiful building.
Yeah, it's
So you started with 80 sites. Now you're at over 150. What are the criterion? And do the buildings or center approach you? Do you go to them? How do you go from 80 to 150?
Yeah, it's a mixture of both things. I spend, year round, I'm in touch with, Milwaukee has a lot of really wonderful business improvement districts, so organizations that represent business districts and neighborhoods. So I am in touch with those folks to say, hey, what are cool new things in your neighborhoods? Well, the downtown bid has been a huge help in terms of connecting us with new locations downtown. So it's us reaching out for new locations, and then definitely a lot of locations and businesses now reach out to us. So just in the last couple of weeks, like a brewery in the Lincoln Warehouse reached out to us that said they would like to participate. A hemp grower
wow, beer and weed.
was interested in participating. Yeah, and they're next door to a.
Are you just gonna go travel and see the fields of hemp? What building is open for a hemp grower?
So there's they're neighbors with Milwaukee Microgreens, which grows microgreens, in a facility in a warehouse in Bayview, and then Goodland Extracts is their neighbor, and they are like a hemp manufacturer.
Yeah.
So I honestly will have to go to find out what the process. I guess
what are we sending people into right now?
It's all legal, though. It's on the up and up.
All right, so fast forward to the special event that is in celebration of Historic Milwaukee's 50th year. And who came up with the idea that, let's rappel people off of a building?
Well, thank you, first of all, for joining our VIP rappel on Friday. It's very safe. Everyone's, going to be rigged up, and they do a lot of safety checks. So we're working with, actually, a company that is out of Canada called Over the Edge, and they've now done hundreds of these events with nonprofits across North America. And their founding CEO did just one day. He's like a thrill-seeking kind of guy. So he went and rappelled off of a building and raised money for a cause that he was interested in. And then he was like, why don't we start a company that does this for other organizations? So they actually approached us a little over a year ago, and we, were thinking about fun, cool, creative stuff to do for our 50th anniversary. We had a disco party earlier this year as our gala, which was fun.
That was very fun.
So now we're trying this rappelling event. For us, it's a nice tie because it's at the Milwaukee Athletic Club, which is a beautiful, historic 1913 building that recently underwent huge historic renovations. So we want to applaud that building and raise awareness of, what a great asset that is to our community. It's also an athletic club, so they have some members that will be rappelling with us as well.
All right.
And then it's a fundraising event. So the folks who are fundraising on the Sunday event raise money to participate in the event. It's like a fun run kind of concept.
I remember we talked about this when the story first came out about people creating teams and creating, part of the money they raised, the first little bit was to pay for their rappelling, and then the rest was to raise money for the organization. And I remember thinking, this sounds fun.
Cool.
It sounds exciting.
So people can come watch on Friday.
Yes,
because I have volunteered, but it's also Fire Chief Lipsky is going to be there.
Full gear.
Who
and
else?
Bango, the
Really?
Bucks mascot, will be
Okay.
there in his mask. Well, whomever is in the Bango costume will be there.
It's not really a deer?
It's just Bango.
It's just Bango.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bango.
Yeah.
Bango will be
Oh,
there.
sorry. Didn't mean to.
Okay,
I don't
wow.
know. I mean, could be.
Anyone else that's going to be joining us? So for people to come watch us do that on Friday.
Yeah, Emilio Dutorre, who's the executive director of Milwaukee Turners, will be there. Isaac Rowlett, who is like an aerial photographer, will be there. Matt Wild from the Milwaukee
Nice.
Record
We
is
know
going to
Matt,
be there.
friend of the show.
I think a couple people. Well, Bango will definitely have a GoPro.
All right, Bango's going to be the star. Now that you say Bango's going to be the star. But if you can't come and watch on Friday, you have the chance to do it yourself on Sunday.
Correct. Yeah. And you can also, if you don't like heights, you can also just come watch on Sunday. I will be rappelling in the afternoon. The mayor will be rappelling at about 11 a.m. on Sunday, so come cheer him on. That's going to be a fun time.
So if you want more information, if you text HISTORIC to 855-616-1620, we will send you the link to either donate or at least just have more information about the event. Again, that's the word HISTORIC, 855-616-1620. And so, is there information on the fundraising page for it's Friday at 4, right?
Yeah, Friday 4 to 7. We have a Facebook page that we just set up, so
Okay.
I'll get you that, and then we can make sure that people.
I will share
Any
that.
tips for Kristen as she rides the elevator up to what could be one of the most traumatic experiences of her life?
It's a 13-story building.
Yeah, well, not to scare you, but okay, I went up for the first time to the roof last week, and it's not just like, okay, if you've been to the Milwaukee Athletic Club, they have a cute little rooftop deck, right? And, well, we're not just rappelling from that rooftop. We're taking it up essentially like another 2 to 3 stories that you will be.
That's right.
You ascend a ladder, kind of a very vertical like ladder.
Your second vertical ladder in a week.
That will
This is
be
exciting.
the original request. You will be roped in. You're roped in. Don't worry. You can do it. I know you can. And then you're going to walk over a few HVAC equipment pieces, and then and then you are to an even grander view. I don't know. I'm in the same boat as you, so I'm.
So there will be. I'm sure there will be social media content to post.
Please.
But
what time? Do you know what time she's going over? Because I
think we have her between 4 and 5.
All right.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. You can enjoy that
my life
view.
is not excited enough. I need to sign up for stuff like
Get
this.
up there. Enjoy the view right before you start going over the side. That'll be fun.
All right. Well, where can people get more information as far as all the locations that will be available to tour for free for Doors Open Milwaukee?
Yep. Everything is on Historic Milwaukee's website. So if you go to historicmilwaukee.org, the rappelling event is there. The Doors Open event is there.
All right. Well, Grace
Nice.
Forrest, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Thanks, Grace.
You. Check out everything at Historic Milwaukee, Doors Open Milwaukee. So fun. And if you're free tomorrow at 4, come see me.
Friday.
You're right. Friday at 4. Come see me to fight death.
I shouldn't have. Maybe you're practicing tomorrow by yourself.
No, I'm definitely not practicing.
Okay.
All right.
maybe you were.
Limited News Time 147.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to AdventKnows.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
For your next night out, make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel, your dinner destination. Aria, nestled on the second floor of St. Kate, is an artful dining experience that captivates with its culinary creativity. Delighting in its offering of artisanal American cuisine, the restaurant transcends tradition and leans into the realm of playful and inventive flavors. Come and experience the magic of Aria, where every bite is a work of culinary artistry. Learn more and make reservations at aria at stkate.com.
No Panthers here, only myself, Brian Noonan, and she's Kristen Bry, and this is Spanning the State.
All right. So this was interesting to me because I feel like every once in a while kids will be kids.
Sure.
And now it doesn't help that TikTok or whatever, social media du jour aids and embeds bad ideas.
And bad ideas that could end really badly for people because of how times have changed.
Well, I totally agree with that. So basically, for my side of the internet, I have not seen this as a TikTok
isn't in your
trend.
Algorithm?
Yes, this is not in my algorithm. Okay. I have not seen kids doing this, but apparently there is a new viral TikTok trend called the Door Knock Challenge, which is not a very creative name.
No.
Because it is exactly that. It basically consists of teenagers who are roaming around a neighborhood late at night and strongly knocking or kicking on someone's door. And so far in southeast Wisconsin, 4 teens, all of whom were 15 years old, were located, arrested, and cited for disorderly conduct and released to their parents as of recently. But it also happened, the Franklin Police Department said there's 2 more possible incidents that have happened with this. Mm-hmm. And to me, there's multiple things about this that are dumb and just like classic short-sightedness of teenagers. First of all, most people have a Ring camera now.
That's
so you can easily identifiable as far as you go and knock on someone's door in the middle of the night and you are immediately going to be able to be identified because they have a video camera of you. Second, have we not seen some of the terrible things as far as knocking on someone's door or being at the wrong door and people who have guns in the house?
Yes, and those incidents happened like at normal times when someone would knock on your door.
Not in the middle of the night.
Right, and they weren't pounding or kicking. These were just people who came to someone's door by mistake and knocked on the door.
Yeah, and so dumb and dangerous, and also illegal as far as like disorderly conduct.
I didn't realize it was a $376 fine in Franklin for disorderly conduct. So I don't know where these kids are. Well, maybe their parents will just pay it for them because, as you mentioned, it's just teens being teens. But I'll tell you, if somebody started pounding on my door at 2 a.m, if I didn't have a heart attack, I would be very, very angry.
Yeah.
It sounds scary and stupid.
It's very scary, very stupid. But also, I learned from you that sometimes teenagers do stupid things.
Young people are dumb. I was young, and hence I was dumb many, many times. We participated in
What
some
were some of the
pranks.
dumber things you did, Brian?
Well, the not dine and dash. I never did that. The ding dong ditch. You just
Okay.
ring the doorbell, run away. There may have been the classic dog poop brown bag fire on one.
What? Just Billy Madison over here.
Yeah, and then this wasn't me just roaming around like some lone delinquent. There was a group of delinquents.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, there's a group of delinquents. But the one I think that shocked you the most was the egg on the fishing
I had
wire.
never heard of this before.
So, kids, don't do this at home. You tape an egg to some fishing line and you string it between two trees across the street, so that when as a car comes by, it's windshield level and the egg just breaks on their windshield.
And then they swerve into another car.
Well, we never did it on super busy streets.
All right.
It was always just the little, residential streets in the neighborhood, which was dumb because they were like doing it a couple blocks from where you live is not really smart. But and I'm not proud of it. It's, I have mended my ways without going to jail.
You're
So
not
that's-
still letting poop on fire and leaving it on your neighbor's doorstep?
No, sometimes I just do it on the deck for old time's sake. See if Debbie will fall for it, but she never does. So it's not as much fun.
All right. Well, we have to break for the top of the hour news. And when we come back, we will spin around the state on Spanning the State.
Welcome to another episode of Analysis, man.
From Buck superstar Giannis.
And then I'm going to Chris at the time.
What did coach mean? What do you...
And even Green Bay QB Jordan Love. There's only one call for these conversations.
I've never been in a Lambo, and I have to, right? What is this Lambo league?
Tune in to the Thanalysis Show, presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Find it today on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere you get podcasts.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi with an announcement about my next WTMJ listener trip. Love these. Fox World Travel has crafted a fantastic itinerary which has special significance for me and you. We'll be visiting the country of my people, yes, Sicily. And to make it even more interesting, we're adding the country of Malta. It's called Sicily and Malta Mosaic, and it's happening in October of 2025 next year. Sicily is a fascinating island with an interesting and unique history. We'll see ancient ruins, charming old towns, sparkling coastlines, archaeological sites, and Europe's tallest active volcano, Mount Etna. And then bonus, we'll head to beautiful Malta, one of the smallest and friendliest countries in the world. My wife Kathy and I would love to have you join us on this special WTMJ listener trip. We've done it before. They're always fun. Join us. To get more information or make a reservation, visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Don't miss out on the early booking discount. Sicily and Malta Mosaic. Call today.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands. You just can't pass on Less is Glass. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit froedtert.com/heart.
It's Blaine's Farm and Fleet's 69th anniversary, and we're celebrating with exciting rewards offers for our best customers. Shop anniversary celebration savings on 2-pound bags of Blaine's brand trail mix, $5 for rewards members. 5-gallon buckets of Blaine's diesel oil or tractor fluid, $49.99 for rewards members. Rewards members get 40-pound bags of Blaine's wild bird food, $15, and get 33% reward savings on all men's work and sport boots and socks. Come celebrate and save during our anniversary sale, only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, with a tip for today's home shoppers. You already know inventory is low and both competition and home prices are high. That's probably why you should not go with your bank or your real estate agent's mortgage pal for your pre-approval. You see, the banks have lots of branches, fancy headquarters, vice presidents and assistant vice presidents, and the loan officers who get referrals from real estate agents, they're typically very highly paid. Who do you think pays for all that extra expense? Turns out it's you. High overhead and high compensation naturally translate into higher closing costs. At Accunet, our extreme efficiency and low overhead mean your closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks and other lenders for exactly the same rate. Don't light your hard-earned money on fire. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval today by clicking on the blue button and put the money you'll save in closing costs towards something for your new home. That's ACCUNET.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here to tell you about Built-Right's Labor Day mattress sale, extended through Saturday. The one location saves you time and money, and Built-Right makes it easy to shop, easy to buy. They'll beat any big box, national or local chain store, department store, employee-free store, online retailer, or warehouse club because they have the guaranteed lowest and most competitive prices, value, selection, service, and experience in Wisconsin. Over 60 models and 500 mattresses in stock. Choose from the best brands made in the USA: Heirloom, Gold Bond, Therapeutic, Restonic, and Schiffman. Built-Right specializes in hard-to-find, flippable, two-sided, and heavy-duty mattresses. They can hold up to 600 pounds. Plus, Built-Right offers free delivery and removal on mattress-only purchases of $7.99 or more. Built-Right always saves you money. Shop Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, they're closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built-Right at 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Wholesale mulch? No problem. We deliver to residential or wholesale accounts, and we can supply you with whatever volume of the highest quality mulch you need. Nobody around here has more mulch than Erickson's. We'll deliver you a 1-yard pickup truck load all the way up to 100 yards in a walking floor trailer. And if you just need a little bit, swing by and we'll fill up a 5-gallon bucket or two. It's the best mulch you'll find. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our decorative stone is available by the handful for pickup, all the way up to 24-ton load deliveries. And our stone is superlative. We scour the countryside, countrywide, from Arizona to the Carolinas. We search pretty much the whole U.S. of A. to find you easily the best stone selection in southeastern Wisconsin. See a rainbow of decorative stone colors to match any exterior decor. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Protect mom's assets, protect your assets. Call Kraus Estate Planning, estateplanningpeople.com.
Time for the crew to give the Phillies a bit of the brotherly glove.
Ground ball right back to Milner. He snares it on a hop, flips it to Hoskins, and Hobie Milner gets out of the jam in the 6th.
Our coverage of the game at American Family Field begins tonight at 6 with Brewers warm-up. We are your home for the Brewers. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 2:01, I'm Julia Fellow. The current temperature right now is 78 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, classes are back in session at Nathan Hale High School in West Dallas. A big threat there, an evacuation. TMJ4's Miriam McCarr.
The school district says the evacuation happened because of a threat to student safety, but provided us with no other details. I spoke with the student who reported that threat to his teachers. The high school junior tells me him and his friends heard another student make a comment threatening the school.
Me and my friend Nolan were walking to class, and there was some kid with a vest on, and we heard him say, wait until I detonate, and obviously I'm not going to take that lightly. So we told our teacher, because I don't want to die, and reported him.
Meanwhile, in international news, the atmosphere is tense in Lebanon as more devices connect to Hezbollah members explode. Hezbollah is considered an Iranian-backed terrorist militia.
The Lebanese health ministry said at least 9 people were killed and hundreds wounded in the second wave of explosions. While Israel has not commented on the operation, Hezbollah threatened to avenge the attack by Israel. Israeli intelligence expert Eyal Pinko says the devices were compromised before they were delivered to Hezbollah.
You need to open the beeper to put a very not sensitive explosive that it will not get operated in the time that you don't want it to operate.
The devices were apparently exploded by remote control. Linda Gradstein for CBS News, Jerusalem.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything slightly in the green. The Dow up 2. Actually, it just went down in the red. Down 6. S&P 500 up 1. NASDAQ up 32. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time approaching 2:04.
Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. Visit jamesimaging.com.
The Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales, Luther Gray.
James Imaging has been a wonderful partnership with the Milwaukee Symphony and just great to work with.
In what ways?
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt, polite, and professional. It makes me feel empowered because I find it very easy to resolve something.
Luther, James Imaging Systems is a local business technology company that stands with their clients over the long term.
Yes, before, during, and after the sale, James Imaging is there, and they are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Luther, any advice for others looking for a long-term business technology partnership?
I would tell them that James Imaging is the way to go.
Start your business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems today. It's easy to do. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out of pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All sports desk with a magic number of 1. The Brewers could lock the NL Central Division before taking the field tonight against the Phillies. If the Cubs lose to Oakland A's this afternoon, it will secure the Brewers' 4th division title in the last 7 years. Coverage of the Brewers and Phillies begins at 6:05 right here on WTMJ. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. I see some slowdowns. Probably you're going about 45 miles an hour on I-94 East at 35th Street because the right shoulder is blocked. There's a disabled vehicle and a lot of slow going right there. Everything else looks like it's just normal midday traffic.
Traffic is sponsored by Annex Wealth Management. Traffic brought to you by Annex Wealth Management. Financial and retirement planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Ready for you at annexwealth.com.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast tonight, mainly clear, patchy fog, 62 at the lake, 55 inland. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm. Friday, morning showers possible, storm chance, mostly cloudy, a high of 82. Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 80. Sunday, there is a rain chance, but in the evening on Sunday, a high of 78 degrees. The current temperature in Milwaukee is 79 degrees and sunny. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 2:07.
time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
So many stories across Wisconsin, you can't possibly keep track of them all, so we find some that you might have missed and bring them to you here every day after the 2 o'clock news. If you want more details, then by all means, text SPIN to 855-616-1620. Shall we?
We shall.
Here we go.
New Berlin.
Oh, well, after 61 years hosting the Miss Wisconsin pageant, Oshkosh is passing the crown to New Berlin starting in 2025. New Berlin City and school officials praised the decision by the Miss Wisconsin Scholarship Organization, which is the 88-year-old group that runs the pageant. The change was announced yesterday. The Miss Wisconsin pageant is a precursor, as we know, to the Miss America pageant. Now, the Journal-Sentinel reports that the move came as a surprise to Oshkosh officials based on a story published by the Oshkosh Northwestern. Amy Albright, executive director of the Oshkosh Convention and Visitors Bureau, told the Northwestern, quote, "Our community has been extremely supportive of this event, and we are disappointed by this news. We're proud to have hosted this event for 61 years and wish the organization all the best." End quote. The Miss Wisconsin competition is open to young women ages 14 to 27 interested in competing for the title and the related scholarship.
That's a wide age range.
Yeah.
Like 14-year-olds competing against 27-year-olds. Is there any other competition where that is the gap?
I host the St. Patrick's Day Queen contest in Chicago, and it is a wide range of that. So you get I think it's 16 there, but still you've got high school juniors and seniors going against women who were a few years into their career. And, you know,
27's a couple more than a couple years into your career.
Right.
Like 27's like, I've staring down the barrel of 30. Just freaking out.
I think that's the difference how men and women look at that age gap. But yeah, that is, you just say, oh, well, it's nice for the younger women. They get some experience, but by the time they're in their mid-20s, maybe they try again.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. Where do you stand on pageants?
I think they have come a long way as far as now being a great resource for scholarships. And I still think, is there still like bathing suit competitions and stuff?
I haven't watched a Miss America.
Boo on the bathing
anything.
suit competition. Yay on the scholarship leadership aspect of pageants.
What about baton twirling as a skill? They don't have
no swimsuits anymore.
No, I judged a racing pageant
a
couple years ago. They don't do swimsuits, just talent.
Good.
All right. Very nice. All right. Well, then let's pour one out for the swimsuit competition and spin the wheel.
Superior. I love this story. I love the we're just going to take this into our own hands-ness of this story. So, as we know, the internet is a necessity for most of us.
Yes.
For many of us to do our jobs, to do our homework, the internet should be a public good at this point, but I will let that go. So when it's slow and unreliable, it is frustrating to say the least. And so the city of Superior recently broke ground on a city-owned fiber network that aims to lower costs and improve service for its residents.
Nice.
So the tubes that will house the cable for the first phase of the Connect Superior network began being installed in a neighborhood near UW Superior last week. The fiber installation is expected to cost $1.47 million, and the city has budgeted $6.25 million for the first phase of the project with funding from the American Rescue Plan. And the network will own and operate the open access network.
Oh, the city, I'm sorry. That was a typo.
The city will own
it.
And so what is the open access network? So basically it means that multiple internet service providers could use it and compete for customers. Superior City Councilor Taylor Elm told WPR that many residents and businesses have had limited options for high-speed internet. The first phase of the build-out is expected to offer service to around 860 households and businesses, because this has been a topic for a very long time as far as high-speed internet available, especially as you get up north. And I like that the city was just like, fine, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, we don't need you. We've got money sitting around. We're going to put it to good use. So that is excellent news, because can you imagine now being without internet or being with like dial-up anymore?
No,
it would make me nuts. All right, here we go.
Sheboygan.
All right, so this is a little different in spinning the state. While you were in Brazil, we had a guest on, Stacy Sebald, and she came in because her son Mitchell, who was a teenager, died in a farming accident on a small farm. She told us about how OSHA has a loophole that doesn't allow OSHA to investigate deaths and accidents on farms with 10 or fewer employees. So Stacy's made it her mission to change that rule so that all farm accidents, and fatalities can be investigated. She then began working with United Support and Memorial for Workplace Fatalities. USMWF is a national nonprofit aimed at supporting families affected by work-related incidents using grief support and safer working condition resources. Well, anyway, this Saturday is USMWF's National Walkathon.
Okay.
And they were having a Wisconsin chapter walkathon in Sheboygan. Well, they're still having it. It's just at a different place because there was some conflict with other events going on at the park. So the walk was scheduled to take place at Evergreen Park. It has been moved to a different location. Walkers will meet at Dayland Park in Sheboygan by the big Dayland Park sign. The walk starts at 10 o'clock. It will go along the waterfront, and then participants will head to Three Sheeps Brewing for food, a fundraising event, yard games, and fun. There is a link if you text SPIN 855-616-1620. There is a link there where if you want to donate, you can, and there is also a link to the original story that brought Stacy to our attention.
Nice.
So there you go.
There you go.
All right. Do you want to do one more?
Let's do one more.
Plainfield.
All right, Plainfield. So I have mixed feelings about this. All right. The public is, to say the least, fascinated by true crime stories and serial killers. So if you remember 2 years ago, there was the Emmy-winning series Dahmer Monster, right? So it was called Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, and it was Ryan Murphy, and there was a lot of people were not.
License?
Well, no, not even that. It was just a lot of people. Obviously, it was a notorious Milwaukee killer, and the fact that there was the victims' families weren't necessarily consulted before they did this project. Well, that feedback and criticism does not seem to have deterred Ryan Murphy from doing and featuring another Wisconsin killer, Ed Gein, and who was going to be the centerpiece of the next installment of the Netflix Monster series. So if people, I'm sure people are very familiar, but in case you're not, Gein was the Plainfield man who confessed in 1957 to killing 2 local women and to digging up bodies from graveyards. The grisly details of the crimes have become the stuff, I would say, of nightmares.
Yes.
Gein's story has been the inspiration for numerous fictional and true crime productions, including Milwaukee author Robert Bloch's novel Psycho, which was then turned into the 1960 Alfred Hitchcock film. And according to the Journal Sentinel, the most recent Gein-centered project was a limited documentary series on Gein that aired on MGM Plus, featuring never-before-heard jailhouse interviews. The only thing about this story that I do like is that Sons of Anarchy star Charlie Hunnam is slated to play Gein, and I like him as an actor a lot.
Yes.
But otherwise, I don't know. I just feel like we've had enough of these, have we not?
We have not. The public app. I see this. We differ on this because I do enjoy. My wife too. We watch all these crazy.
Did you watch the Dahmer one?
Yeah.
Did you like it? Like is a weird word, right? Because you're like, oh.
I found it well done. I knew the story, obviously, except for like the Niecy Nash character. I wasn't familiar with that aspect of the story, so I thought it was a well done thing. Would I be like, ooh, let's sit down and watch the Jeffrey Dahmer thing? No, but I'll watch this Ed Gein project.
You will,
and we watch a lot of.
What was the one? Mindhunters. Did you watch that show on Netflix?
That was great. The Menendez brothers one starts in a week. Might start this week.
Set your calendar.
No, it's another monster. It's another monster one. Wait, now Ria's going to watch the Menendez brothers.
I'm excited to watch that one.
Yes,
Why?
of course.
I think they're innocent, to be honest. There's a lot to the backstory.
Oh no, they did it, but I think the reasons they did it, maybe they're not the monster in the title. Maybe somebody else is the monster.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, listen, on that note, if you want any more details on this or you want to debate us on serial killer popularity, you can text SPIN to 855-616-1620. When we come back, today we pay homage to a national, if not worldwide icon. It is a national day of celebration. We'll tell you who or what we are celebrating after this on Spanning the State.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
There's an active car fire on Brewers Boulevard, southbound.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, at the Hall Volkswagen traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
There's a multi-vehicle accident on 45 northbound, just over Mayfair Road. Looks like the left 2 lanes are blocked.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
There's a multi-vehicle accident. Looks like the left 2 lanes are blocked.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Wisconsin's volunteers are making a difference in our communities every single day. Find the perfect volunteer opportunities for you at volunteerwisconsin.org. You can filter by location, organization, cause, accessibility, and more, all to help find the best fit for you. Go to volunteerwisconsin.org or get in touch with your local United Way or Volunteer Center today. VolunteerWisconsin.org is hosted by United Way of Wisconsin and Serve Wisconsin. Paid for by United Way of Wisconsin.
Outdoor living is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. Well, there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Get started right away. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited now. Get your yard project onto Outdoor Living Unlimited's calendar while there's still openings. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Hey, Wisconsin, Brian Noonan here for El Bandito Yankee Tequila. Get ready to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day. 100% Blue Weber agave, award-winning, all-natural. It's additive-free, and let me tell you, it is the smoothest tequila Milwaukee, Madison, and Titletown has ever tasted. You can get yours today at great spots like La Pina on 3rd Street or your favorite local store. And remember, you always win with the undefeated flavor of El Bandito Yankee Tequila. For events, recipes, places that you can buy some El Bandito Yankee, go to elbanditoyankee.com.
Cheeseburger in paradise. Heaven on earth with a onion slice. Not too particular, not too precise. I'm just a cheeseburger in paradise.
I like this song. I thought I knew it, and then I was like, I'm not going to subject people to my singing voice to a song I don't know.
Belt out some
well.
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, exactly. All right, welcome back to Spanning the State. I am Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan, and it is National Cheeseburger Day. Did you realize that? No?
I did not until we decided that we're going to talk about it.
Well, it's one of those days where I started seeing stories about this last week. Hyping up to National Cheeseburger Day.
The countdown.
The countdown was on. Also, 2 days ago was National Double Cheeseburger Day. We bypassed that one because it seemed a bit gluttonous to us.
I feel like there's a heart bypass joke in there somewhere as far as the double cheeseburger.
That's why I let it go, because I was like, that's too much. I can't with that. But you're right. Everything in moderation, Kristen. So a nice cheeseburger now and then. So there are many theories to the beginning of the cheeseburger. Do you have any thoughts on this? Have you heard about this?
Isn't there one isn't there some claim that of its connection to Wisconsin?
Well, not in the story I read on the National Day calendar website, but it might. One of the theories is that Lionel Sternberger invented the cheeseburger in 1926 when he was working at his father's Pasadena, California sandwich shop. Another one says in 1928, a Los Angeles restaurant called Odell's is where the cheeseburger was invented. Because you lived out there. Burgers are a big thing in California. You wouldn't think about it with all the health trends and all that coming out of California. But there's a lot of cheeseburger places out there. Kalen's Restaurant in Louisville, Kentucky claims they invented the cheeseburger in 1934. The Humpty Dumpty Drive-In in Denver says they received a trademark in 1935 for the name cheeseburger. Yes. And Gus Belt, the founder of Steak and Shake, also claims that he had a trademark sometime in the 30s.
All right, so we're centering in on the 30s being the decade that someone came up with it, or they are all just stealing from each other.
They're all saying that, and yet all the data says there's no way to actually prove any of these points.
Well, what came first, the meatball or the hamburger?
Well, it had to be the meatball,
right?
Yes.
Because I felt like there was some story with that as far as the origin of the hamburger coming from serving meatballs but not having a fork.
Yes.
So then you smashed it into, and they ate it like a sandwich.
And there is a place somewhere in Wisconsin that is credited with steaming a burger the first time and squishing it between the two pieces.
But I have
of
to
bread.
imagine a hamburger came before the cheeseburger.
Oh, of course. Well, you can't have a cheeseburger unless you have a hamburger.
I know.
That's why the guy in Pasadena threw a piece of cheese on there and went,
I was like, I did something new.
Voila!
Look at me.
I am a genius.
Let's trademark that.
All right, listen, but people are clamoring for cheeseburgers. Here's somebody you can get a deal today. If you have the McDonald's app, and if you don't, what are you doing? Are you even an American? You can get a double cheeseburger today for 50 cents.
Wow.
That's right. See, you were gonna scoff, and now 50 cents.
That is a deal.
That is a great deal. All right, how about this deal? Wendy's. Again, you got to use the app. Junior bacon cheeseburger for how much? 1 penny. If you buy anything else, any purchase.
So these are all just ploys to get you to download the app.
Well, yeah.
And obviously celebrate National Cheeseburger Day.
Burger King, you get a free cheeseburger if you spend at least $1 and are part of the loyalty program.
Okay.
Here's one. You don't need an app. You don't need a loyalty program. You just need to show up. Buffalo Wild Wings. Buy one, get one free today. Buy a burger.
Buffalo Wild Wings has burgers?
Yeah.
That's false advertising. Well, so I would never go to Buffalo Wild Wings for their burger.
No, but they have them.
Okay.
And they say you don't like wings, but I do. And Rhea doesn't like wings. Well, the three of us could still go to Buffalo Wild Wings. You two could have, one cheeseburger or 2 cheeseburgers for the price of one, and I could have wings.
Okay.
See how that works?
Yeah.
All
what
right.
about Culver's? Is Culver's doing anything?
No, but
Missed
Culver's is
opportunity.
not. But here's the thing. Cops was just named one of the top 20 cheeseburgers in the United States by Yelp.
That's
pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's good. Do you have a favorite cheeseburger? My favorite actually is doing them at home. I love
making burgers at home. Do you have
home.
a special seasoning you throw on there?
I do. I put some seasoning on there. Then I go with bacon, and I saute onions. I make a whole big thing. And
Okay.
it's delicious.
Okay.
But when I
bacon on it?
Yeah, bacon, sauteed onions, cheese. Either there's a nice beer cheese spread that I get at Woodman's. That plop that on there. Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
That sounds like
Good
you
stuff.
should have that tonight.
I probably should. I have to go shopping.
in honor of the holiday. What else are you going to do?
I don't know, just watch old Popeye cartoons and wait for Wimpy to come by and ask for cheeseburger money. There's a reference for anybody born before 1930, so enjoy that.
Way over Rhea and I's head.
Right now, 2 people at in some facility are laughing hysterically. Who would bring up Popeye and Wimpy in this day and age? It had to be me. Do you have a favorite? Like if you go out?
There's a great smash burger on a place on Brady Street, St. Viviana. It's more of it's like a bar, but they just have a great smash burger.
Bars tend to have really good burgers.
Yeah. That's one's popping up in my head right now.
There's a place, there's this little bar in New Orleans that we go, and burgers is all they have. And it's on just a tiny little flat top, like back in the corner of the bar. It's not a kitchen or anything. But oh man, they're good any time of day or night. All right, let's do this. Then there's more. I'm starving. Somebody bring me a cheeseburger on Spanning the State.
Lance Saigon died as a prisoner of war in Vietnam. His memory has been maintained in a replica of his fighter jet at the Milwaukee airport. The plane is now in need of major renovations. Join John McCure in our WTMJ Cares campaign as we restore the plane back to the dignity that matches the honor of Captain Saigon. Text Lance to 855-616-1620 for information on how you can help preserve this legacy to Lance in its full glory.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Hey, boaters! This is Dave Doro from Kendor Marine. And if you're a boater and you haven't been here, ask around. And I think some of your boater buddies will tell you you're missing out. Because at Kendor Marine, we have everything you need but the water. And when you get here, you'll know that's no exaggeration. So get in the know, because boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin. Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters! From fishing to water sports and everyday essentials like anchors and life jackets, along with an incredible selection of hardware, Kendor Marine is a boater's paradise. This is Dave Doro, and our endless selection of boating parts and accessories all but assure you one-stop shopping for all your boating needs. And that's why boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin. Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
All right. Of course, we can rely on the text line to let us
Yes.
know of the National Cheeseburger Day deal at Culver's. It is a buy one, get one Butterburgers today.
Perfect. And Seymour, Wisconsin is where the hamburger was invented. So
we were right.
We were
just
right.
didn't have the town memorized.
Very good. And a couple people got the Wimpy reference. So thank you. And Rhea
Makes
got
you feel less old that there's other people out there who
No,
would,
I wish it was that easy. But Rhea just got it too. So then I feel less old. If Rhea gets one of my references, I'm like, all right, I'm not too far out there. When we come back, there's a lot of empty retail space. Why isn't some of it full? Well, you might be surprised at why. We'll get to that after ABC News and local headlines here on Spanning the State.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After battling record inflation with back-to-back rate hikes, the Federal Reserve Board today issuing a half-point rate cut to its key interest rate. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more.
This is an historic move, the first rate cut in 4 years from the Federal Reserve, and now it is sending a very clear signal that it is taking this fight seriously, that it wants to preserve the jobs market. In its statement, it makes that clear that it is making a half-point rate cut to try to preserve the jobs market, with inflation now closer to its target.
A day after pagers exploded in the hands of Hezbollah members in Lebanon, more deadly blasts today. Lebanon's health ministry reporting more than a dozen were killed in the new explosions involving more devices. The U.S. says Israel did not disclose its plans about its operation. Sean Diddy Combs expected back in court this afternoon for a bail hearing. A judge yesterday ordered the music mogul held without bail in his sex trafficking case. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 2:31. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story: we've learned 2 hay wagons loaded with adults and little kids, pre-K and kindergarten, rolled over at a Wisconsin apple orchard this morning in Chippewa Falls. The hay ride was a big field trip from Eau Claire Elementary School, and the deputy Chippewa fire chief said that at least 25 people had to be taken to local hospitals. All children were reunited with their families and are back at home safe. Class is back in session at Nathan Hale School in West Dallas after an earlier threat. The district says a student wearing an athletic vest made threats towards students at about 10 o'clock this morning. Police say nothing of concern was located in the building and everything resumed. Milwaukee Public Schools reminding parents to make sure their kids are in class every day, but especially this Friday. That's because the Wisconsin Department of Instruction does statewide count of all present students, which is directly tied to funding for next school year. Time for news about your money in your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything back in the green. Dow up 69, S&P 500 up 17, NASDAQ up 88. Get an honest opinion of where you are financially and where you're headed. Work with a fee-only fiduciary. Start at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Westbound 4143 894 at 19th Street going to Loomis Road. There's some slowdowns. I see it going down to 40 miles an hour at times. Bumper-to-bumper traffic right there. Also, westbound 94 at 20th Street, all the way going to Mitchell Boulevard, westbound. There's slowdowns there as well. Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, sunny and warm. The high will be 86. Tonight, mainly clear. Patchy fog possible. 62 at the lake, 55 inland. Then it's mostly sunny and warm at the lake. 83 and 87 degrees. We also have Saturday, partly cloudy, a high of 80. Sunday, partly cloudy. Chance of rain in the evening, a high of 78 degrees. In Milwaukee, the current temperature right now is 79 degrees. Humidity at 51%, so it feels great, and it's sunny. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:34.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Injuries happen, but you don't have to play in pain or stay on the sidelines. Whether it's your kids dealing with a sports injury, college athletes, or the rest of us weekend warriors, the experts at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin will quickly diagnose your problem, lay out a treatment plan that works for you, and get you back in the game. They fixed my knee. My mother-in-law is back on the dance floor with a new hip. These are the experts you can trust. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
The Milwaukee Bucks are NBA champions!
The Bucks in 6 podcast presents a special series commemorating the Bucks championship run in 2021. From the thrilling Game 7 overtime victory against the Nets.
Durant shooting, got it at the buzzer! No, it's a two-pointer.
To the 50-point statement made by Giannis in the finals.
A 50-point game! That's the stuff of legend.
Immerse yourself in the sounds of each playoff round with Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out-of-pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Unfortunately, it's not too early to start thinking about those upcoming heating bills. At Hometown's huge New Berlin showroom, you can compare energy-efficient windows from Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and more. Like me, you'll get a dedicated project consultant to guide you to the products that best fit your home, style, and budget, along with employee carpenters who respect your home. Do what I did. Contact Hometown Windows and Doors today. Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. 414-329-1200 or online at hometownwindows.com.
Between market volatility, inflation, global unrest, and the presidential election, there's a lot going on. Take control with help from Annex Wealth Management. Have a plan built that matches up with your investment and retirement goals. Annex does it as a fee-only fiduciary with unbiased advice. Annex offers financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com, click the Get Started button. It's time to put things in order. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. annexwealth.com.
Hey, it's the final half hour of Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristen Bry. And to me, it feels like a no-brainer to turn unused commercial real estate into apartments.
Makes sense.
So, I mean, they've announced this, I mean, not just in Milwaukee, but I think in Chicago they've done this, where like the Chicago Tribune building got turned into apartments.
Trip Tower, well, high-end condos.
But same thing here. The old Journal Sentinel building is now the Journal Commons, which is a new apartment building. And so, but it's not cheap to convert those buildings. And so there is a new state loan fund that could help, but there's legislative restrictions that are kind of keeping Wisconsin developers from tapping into it. So here to tell us a little bit more about what is available, what needs to happen to make it more available is business reporter for the Journal Sentinel, Tom Dakin. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Hi, thanks. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Tom.
So I searched back. So back in March 2023, you wrote an article about the 5 Milwaukee buildings that are prime candidates to be converted into apartments. Have any of those actually been, broke ground to be converted since you wrote that article?
Well, no, but the progress is happening. Probably the most prominent is the 100 East office tower, which is right in the heart of downtown at the corner of Wisconsin Avenue and Water Street. Okay. And after that article ran about 4 or 5 months later, in August of 2023, it was sold to some developers led by Klein Development and Johnny Vassallo. And they have since been working on refining their plans and assembling the financing they would need to convert that office tower into around 380 apartments.
Okay.
Now, when you look at an apartment like that, the building you're just talking about, Tom, obviously being downtown, those are going to be high-end apartments. They're going to be costly. Are there buildings around that developers might look at to say, okay, these are a little more, we can make some affordable units here, or just change it up a little bit, or is everything that's available going to be high dollar?
Well, the affordability aspect is actually something that Klein Development and Johnny Vassallo are considering for 100 East, at least having a certain percentage of those units set aside at affordable rates. And we have to kind of define that.
Yeah.
When people talk about affordable apartments in the development world, what they're usually talking about are apartments that are built in part by obtaining federal and state tax credits. And that requires the developer to provide most of those apartments, about 85% of those apartments, at rents that are determined by the income level of the people renting them. And typically the people who can rent them can earn can be no higher than 60%. That's 60% of the local median income. But now we've kind of created this term called workforce housing.
Yeah.
Workforce housing it doesn't really have an official definition per se, but I think generally it's viewed as not quite up at the market rate of the most expensive apartments, but higher than those quote unquote affordable apartments we just discussed. So in other words, let's say you're earning up to 80 or maybe 100% of local median income, then you can qualify for quote unquote workforce housing. And that's what was, I think, to some degree behind the state law that was created with bipartisan approval and signed by Governor Evers in June of 2023.
And is that the vacancy to vitality program?
Well, that's part of it. There were a couple of different programs that were created. There was $525 million allocated by the Joint Finance Committee behind those programs, and $100 million of that, as you say, Kristen, went into the vacancy to vitality program. And that's a program that provides $100 million in low-interest loans to developers like Klein Development and Johnny Vassallo who want to convert commercial property, usually an office building, into apartments with the condition that at least a proportion of those apartments have to be designated as affordable, and I think typically for that kind of workforce housing level.
Okay.
Okay.
But then there's been limitations in accessing that money?
Yes, and that's because when the legislature passed that bill, which again Evers signed into law, so you've got Democrats and Republicans all agreeing on this, there were some legislators from the Republican majority in the legislature who insisted on some conditions, including if you're a developer and you're getting a low-interest loan for this purpose, you can't use tax incremental financing, which is a way Milwaukee and other municipalities throughout the state help finance development, and you can't use state and federal historic preservation tax credits, which is another pretty common form of subsidy for developers. And in that case, the building has to be designated as historic to qualify. But if you can get that designation, you can obtain those credits, they can cover quite a bit of your expenses in converting. So that's what was at issue in the story that we posted this morning, that loan fund, the vacancy to vitality loan fund, has been relatively untapped apparently because of those restrictions.
And what's
go ahead.
I was going to say, and so what was from the standpoint of the Republican legislators who put that caveat in there? Why? Like, what were they protecting to say you can, if you're going to use this, you can't use that?
Well, I think in general, perhaps trying to be maybe good stewards of public money, saying,
Okay.
hey, look, we're providing you with a low interest loan. We the state taxpayers don't go putting other forms of subsidy, either a local TIF district, tax incremental financing district, or state and federal historic preservation tax credits on top of that. And again, that was something that he was a Democrat. He didn't veto that item within the legislation. He signed off on it. And I think the developers who spoke about this yesterday at the event I covered are hoping to go back to the legislature in 2025 and perhaps go to those same folks and say, hey, look, we know you had this idea in mind. We know why you had this idea in mind. But the effect of that has been basically to stymie any use of these loans, and perhaps you should consider new legislation that would remove those restrictions.
Because
no.
Is there a lot of competition? Because otherwise, are these buildings just sitting there empty?
Right. Well, let's take 100 East. The answer is largely yes. Marcus Corporation moved out. I believe they've now moved out to their new digs. There was a law firm that surfaced, a smaller firm, Hinshaw and Culbertson, about a month ago. I think we mentioned it, that they're moving out. Not many tenants left, although probably the most prominent tenant is a law firm we're all familiar with, the Gruber law firm. They have yet to move, but they're in the process of looking. So yeah, it's going to be empty before long. Some of these other buildings, if they're not outright vacant, they certainly could be perhaps considered underused or perhaps headed that way. And I'll just
is there a benefit for them to stay underused or vacant?
No, I don't believe so, because let me back up there. It's a matter of incentives. If you're buying the building the way Klein Development and Johnny Vassallo did last year, you're going out and borrowing a certain amount of money with the idea of, we're going to be able to sooner rather than later convert this underused building into a property that's going to produce a lot more income, pay off our mortgage, pay off our construction costs, and have a profit. If you've owned a building forever, several years, decades, and it's underused, you've already got your mortgage paid off, there's maybe less of a financial incentive for you to do something about it. You're just content as long as you're collecting rental income that's above and beyond your expenses. So I don't think there's an advantage per se. I just think different owners face different conditions and thus different financial incentives.
All right, so it's basically for anything to change and for that money that's been allocated towards this to actually be more readily available, it has to go back to the legislature?
That's what the folks at the panel yesterday, people like S.R. Mills, who runs Bear Development, were saying. And by way of context, Bear Development is a company that bought the Johnson Controls downtown complex a couple of years ago. Johnson Controls has now largely moved out. They retrenched those operations up to Glendale, and now Bear is looking around for ways to reuse that space, some of which could be converted into residential.
All right. Well, we will keep an eye on it, because I, for one, would prefer the old buildings to stay, because I'm not as big of a fan as the new architecture as the old architecture. But Tom Dakin, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Absolutely. Enjoyed it.
Take care.
Citing on Lunan News Time, 2:46. This is Spanning the State.
Planning for retirement is like planning a road trip. You wouldn't start a long journey without a map, right? The same goes for your financial future. Every retirement plan needs the right tools. Social Security is one of those critical tools. But did you know when and how you claim your benefits can dramatically affect your retirement income? At Drake & Associates, we'll help you navigate the twists and turns of Social Security. Our team can guide you on when to start collecting benefits to maximize your income. Don't leave your retirement journey to chance. Call us or text SS to 414-409-9982. That's SS to 414-409-9982. Let us help you map out a secure and enjoyable retirement.
Drake & Associates is an independent investment advisory firm that offers different investment vehicles. All insurance products are backed by the issuing insurance company. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only.
The Fox and Hound Supper Club in Hubertus is hiring servers, bussers, food runners, expo and barbacks, and cleaners. Make real money. It's perfect for high school and college students, parents, and grandparents. Tell your kids and start next week. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
These are powerful, FDA-approved pharmacological pain treatments precisely administered by an easy injection to the root source of your pain. Positive patient outcomes are over 91%. And we do this conveniently. The entire process is performed in office, so it's very easy for our patients.
Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, with the help of some of the finest pain relief physicians in the country, have helped bring their proprietary pain treatment formula to the forefront of pain relief medicine. Having performed over 100,000 pain treatments and counting, patient results have shown again and again that pain relief is possible in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees, with some patients' pain relief lasting more than 2 years.
We're in network with almost all major insurance plans, including Medicare and Medicaid, and this could mean zero out-of-pocket costs for your pain relief treatment.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
We've found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semper Fi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what Always Faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen. Pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Kristen Bry.
I'm Brian Noonan. That, of course, national treasure.
National
Dolly
treasure,
Parton.
absolutely.
If you don't like Dolly Parton, really reevaluate your life because Dolly is a good woman. I've been to. Have you ever been to Dollywood?
No, but we had friends who recently visited from North Carolina, and they were saying because I had always thought I didn't really know what Dollywood was.
Yeah.
They said it is their favorite place to go now.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
it is. It's clean. The rides are great. It's just
they said they absolutely love it.
It was fun. Well, anyway, Dolly comes into this story in a minute, but let me give you a fact that might disturb you. But there's a lot of kids who don't have books. There's the fact. But Dolly is trying to fix this. Have you heard of her Imagination Library?
I feel like I've heard She does a lot of different things.
She does a lot of great things.
In passing, I've heard of this, but tell me more.
Well, it's because Dolly is very big on kids reading. That's one of her pet projects, which is great. Well, DPIL, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, is a nonprofit that gives free age-appropriate books to children 5 and younger every month. So you should see about getting Frankie involved.
Yeah, there we go.
This. So she formed the organization in '95 to serve preschool children in Sevier County, Tennessee, which is where she's from, and that's where Dollywood is. So since then, the DPIL has expanded across the country and around the globe. So about 250 million books have been gifted to over 3 million children through the program. And you might say, well, that's fantastic, but how does that tie in to Spanning the State? Well, here's how. Because the Madison Reading Project partnered with DPIL, and so now more than 12,000 Dane County kids are getting a free book sent to them every month.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And some of the people quoted in the story said the kids get so excited because their Aunt Dolly is sending them another book. So every month, Aunt Dolly sends them a book. DPIL operates because of partnerships with groups like the Madison Reading Project, and they get those organizations, and Dolly calls those people the real heroes because they're the ones doing the work and getting stuff out. So in December 2021, the Madison Reading Project received funding from the Roots and Wings Foundation that allowed them to get involved, making them the official literacy champion of DPIL for Dane County. They started with just 180 kids, but now they have grown that number over 70-fold in less than 3 years.
That is a great story.
It is. It's a nice way to start wrapping up the show when you can go, oh, look, we can leave on a happy note.
Love days like that.
It is, and they're few and far between, unfortunately.
Are we sure it's not Dipple?
Oh.
I think it's DPIL and not
Dolly
Dipple.
Parton. It could be Dipple. Listen, pronounce it however you want. The end result is the same. 12,000 kids are getting a book from Aunt Dolly every month. So Dipple, Pipple, Zipple, however you want to say it. Let's say this, though. We're going to do this, and then we'll come back and wrap things up. It's Spanning the State.
When we're out in your town, come say hi to us as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're out on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show,
wherever we may be, you can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
WTMJ.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. It's your knee that's bugging you, right? Or is it your back? For some of us, it's the hips. Achy joints with pain you can't get over. Well, there is a way to fix it. There is a way to get lasting pain relief using your own body's healing properties. It's all thanks to QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. QC Kinetics can help enhance your joints, improve mobility, and get back to doing all the fun things you like to do without pain. No surgery, no painkillers, and no downtime. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using cellular therapies. If you want to learn more, the consultations are free. You can set up an appointment at QC Kinetics. They have clinics in Mequon and in Greenfield. Here's the number, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call now and get lasting joint pain relief with the help from QC Kinetics. 414-285-3474.
Gear up for October baseball. Brewers postseason tickets go on sale on September 20th. Clear your schedule, claim your spot, and be here for a Brewers postseason run you don't want to miss at Brewers.com.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, with a tip for today's home shoppers. You already know inventory is low and both competition and home prices are high. That's probably why you should not go with your bank or your real estate agent's mortgage pal for your pre-approval. You see, the banks have lots of branches, fancy headquarters, vice presidents and assistant vice presidents, and the loan officers who get referrals from real estate agents, they're typically very highly paid. Who do you think pays for all that extra expense? Turns out it's you. High overhead and high compensation naturally translate into higher closing costs. At Accunet, our extreme efficiency and low overhead mean your closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 lower than banks and other lenders for exactly the same rate. Don't light your hard-earned money on fire. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval today by clicking on the blue button and put the money you'll save in closing costs towards something for your new home. That's ACCUNET.com.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
All right, it's time for us to get out of here.
Yes.
Halfway through the week.
We are halfway through the week. Tomorrow it's going to be another big show. Wisconsin Watch Reporter talking about should candidates be allowed to drop out. We're going to talk to a SRO officer because we hear about those all the time.
I'm so excited for that.
Yes, and we have Fire Chief Michael Stanley joining us.
Yeah, talk about resources for other firehouses across the state. But now we got to hand it over to Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
Bye.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WT.